Our next topic is a time machine would be a terrible invention. Please help me welcome the Prime Minister Nicholas for 2 minutes. I was like...
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and member of the opposition. I find it very interesting that we're having this debate when Back to the Future actually set their future date in 2015, which is only 1 year away. Very exciting. We're still waiting on those hoverboards, though. A time machine would be a terrible invention. A time machine is defined as a device that can transport objects and people through time instantaneously. And there are two types of transportation through time. There's obviously backward and forward, and they're both bad. They're both terrible. So I will go through my 4 reasons why traveling through time or a time machine would be a terrible invention. First of all, you will create paradoxes. This is inevitable. If you go back in time and let's say you want to meet your grandmother and you accidentally kill her, guess what? You didn't actually kill your grandmother, because if you killed her, then you wouldn't have been able to go and build a time machine and go back in time to kill her. You create a time paradox, the universe implodes. Or, let's say you went back in time and you did something where you wouldn't need to build a time machine. That's another paradox. Imagine you went back in time and you altered history in such a way. Let's say you wanted to kill Hitler. Well, guess what? Maybe there's a certain situation in which you would actually create a worse path of history, and you may actually do worse. It's impossible to tell, especially for one person traveling back in time. Imagine you went forward in time. Think about what someone in the Victorian era, how they would adapt to life today, how difficult it would be. You're just putting this horrible burden on yourself to go to the future and try to figure out how to fill up your car with gas when everything runs on hydrogen or something like that. And what's more is, not only would it be bad for you, but it would also be bad for everyone, because the temptation would be far too great to go into the future and steal something and bring it back and then try to sell it for something else. And then all of a sudden you're taking over the entire economy with these future inventions. For these reasons, please accept the motion. It is a terrible idea to build a time machine. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicholas. Please help me welcome the Leader of the Opposition, Mark, for 3 minutes.
Thank you. I'd like to remind the President, thank you very much, that the motion wasn't, Prime Minister, thank you, that the motion wasn't if it's a terrible idea to create one. It is that the time machine would be a terrible invention, not whether we should or should not create one or endeavor to create one. Next up, we could go and check out the Back to the Future. If we had a time machine and we could use it, we could go and check out the Back to the Future right now. We could go and see what that's like. We don't have to wait another year to see how close it is. Next up, the paradox brought up by the Prime Minister. We don't know that the universe would necessarily implode. It also could create multiple universes, and that would be interesting because we could continue to live on into the future universes that we want to live on into. So we don't know that necessarily the universe will implode. There could be multiple timelines. There's lots of science fiction regarding those possible timelines. Let me get to my case proper. First of all, if we had a time machine, I could go back to earlier this evening to my prior debate topic and prepare myself better to win that particular topic. Second, if I could visit the future, that was the other case brought up by Prime Minister. I could see my legacy. I could visit my family. Okay, I could also check on my wife in years to come and see how things are going. I could make changes and also make changes now or make changes in the past. I could have met my wife sooner, and that seems to me to be a very nice thing. As an invention itself, I think this would be fantastic. Regardless of whether anybody ever used it, the actual invention of a time machine, the technology and the science and the physics required to actually build and create a time machine would be fantastic. So whether anybody ever used it, merely the invention of the time machine itself would be anything other than terrible. I also had the point that anybody who has any religion could now go back with a time machine and check on the truthfulness of those historic claims and sort out once and for all what's really going on with all of these different religions and various things. So I put it to you with the time that I have left. Thank you. That was an unintended pun, by the way. That a time machine would not be a terrible invention. It would be unusual. It could be troublesome. It might be confusing, and it would most certainly be interesting. But ladies and gentlemen, a time machine would not be a terrible invention. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. I'd like to welcome the Prime Minister for another minute. Please welcome Nicholas.
Ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished opponent, so I did not think I framed the debate as it would be a bad idea to pursue building a time machine. I'm pretty sure I said this is why it would be bad, especially for the time traveler.
It was at the end.
Oh, okay. Well, it is bad, but my point is that it is bad for the time traveler with the invention. So you said that you would go back in time and prepare for your debate, so you would cheat. You were a cheater. You just didn't have the the tool to cheat.
No.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. You can cheat if you like. So you'd want to go to the future and see the children, or the future of your children is, and that's very interesting. That's very commendable. What if it was bad? Would that change your opinion on whether or not you would have kids? Would that kind of sour the way you would view your life going forward?
Make changes. But I can make changes.
And you said that you could build a time machine and never use it. Well, what's the point then? It seems ridiculous to do it. Oh. Anyway, please accept the motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicholas. Can I get a show of hands in support of the motion? 6 against. 12. Motion is defeated. Good job, guys. That was an interesting debate.